My husband told a story about our honeymoon in Paris. We honeymooned in Hawaii. Nathan was laughing as he described the cafe with the red awning where he'd proposed to me a second time. The one on the left bank, you remember, Elena? When the owner brought us champagne and you cried? I was holding my wine glass so tightly I thought the stem would snap. We were at dinner with his new business partners and their wives, everyone leaning forward with interest as my husband painted this beautiful romantic picture of a honeymoon that never happened. The Eiffel Tower lit up just as we kissed, and you said it was the most perfect moment of your life. My throat closed. We honeymooned in Maui. Nathan spent 3 days with food poisoning while I ate room service alone and cried on the balcony. There had been no Paris, no cafe, no second proposal under sparkling lights. Mrs. Clark touched my arm, her eyes misty. That sounds absolutely magical. You must go back for your anniversary. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out because Nathan was staring at me across the table with this strange, intense look, like he was daring me to contradict him. The rest of dinner blurred. I smiled and nodded while my mind raced through possibilities. Memory problems? Early dementia? But he was only 34. A joke that went too far? But no one was laughing, and he kept building on the story, adding details about walking along the Seine afterward, about buying me a bracelet from a street vendor, about kissing in the rain, things that sounded real and felt real except they'd never happened to us. When the Clarks finally left, I closed the front door and turned to face him. My hands were shaking. Nathan, we never went to Paris. We went to Hawaii for our honeymoon. Remember? You got sick from the fish and we barely left the hotel? He was already walking toward the kitchen, loosening his tie. What are you talking about? We absolutely went to Paris. I proposed to you again at that cafe. You were wearing that blue dress. His voice was casual, certain, like I was the confused one. I followed him, my bare feet silent on the hardwood. I pulled out my phone with trembling fingers and opened our photo album. Look, these are from Maui. That's the resort. That's you looking miserable on day 3 when you couldn't keep anything down. He glanced at the screen for maybe 2 seconds before shaking his head. Those are from our 5th anniversary trip, Elena. Our honeymoon was Paris. I don't know why you're confused about this. The gaslighting was so smooth and immediate that for one horrible second I doubted myself. But I knew we'd never been to Paris together. I had receipts, booking confirmations, a folder full of documents upstairs that proved Hawaii. Why are you doing this? My voice came out strangled. Why would you lie about something like this? Nathan set his water glass down very carefully and turned to look at me with an expression I'd never seen before. Something cold and calculating that made my stomach drop. I'm not lying, Elena. You're the one who seems to be having memory problems. Maybe you should see a doctor. Your mother had that scare last year, didn't she? Early onset runs in families. He said it so calmly, weaponizing my mother's temporary medication confusion like it was nothing. I backed away from him, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I went upstairs and pulled out our filing cabinet, my hands shaking so badly I could barely work the lock. The honeymoon folder was thick with papers, flight confirmations to Maui, resort booking, rental car agreement. Every single document screamed Hawaii, not Paris. I photographed everything with my phone, some instinct telling me I needed to protect this evidence. Then I noticed our wedding album on the shelf and something made me open it. There were gaps. Photos were missing, carefully removed from their plastic sleeves, leaving obvious holes in our timeline. My chest went tight. When had he